right? Good afternoon. It's 2:30 p.m. on Tuesday, January 27th, 2026, and this is the regular meeting of the Sandpoint Sustainability Committee. It's now called to order in council chambers at City Hall, 1123 West Lake Street, Sandpoint, Idaho. For the record, I'm Committee Chair Christine Moon. Also present are Vice Chair Deborah Dickerson and committee members Diana Duke and Michaela Sundquist. I would like to note that our City Council liaison, Pam Duquette, is momentarily arriving, as well as staff liaison Rachel McKinley and Community Planning and Development Department Administrative Assistant Mandy Brown, serving as board clerk. Now we're moving to general announcements and comments. Anyone have an announcement? We will now take up meeting minutes approval from the last meeting. At this time, I will entertain a motion to approve the minutes from our December 8th, 2025 meeting.
We have to make a motion to approve the minutes.
Second. All in favor?
There's a minor correction.
I'm sorry.
There's a minor correction. This is where we say there's a minor correction, right?
Usually before the motion.
Oh, usually before the
Yeah.
Okay, sorry.
No, you're good.
Sometime, anyway. So, on the first area of approval of the minutes, it's a motion made by Michaela Sundquist, second, Diana Dickerson. Diana Duke.
Oh, thank you for that.
Yeah.
Oh,
I'll reference the video.
Yeah, it's very minor, but
that's,
it's,
yeah, that's good.
Do we want to approve it with
yeah,
the
yeah,
amendment?
let's do that.
Okay, yep.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes and the minutes are approved as presented. Now, the old unfinished business. We will now take old unfinished business and we will begin with report on the status of committee's prioritized goals and objectives for 2026. And Rachel McKinley is going to update us.
Great. So very quick update. They are being compiled and reviewed, and they will be submitted to council in February for their review. And then, as a body, they will approve or give the direction from those goals. That's where we're at with that status.
Last question. Are you presenting this?
No, I don't think so.
How was that happening?
I don't know, but I don't think staff liaisons are
So are
presenting.
you sending them
They-
to Jeremy?
Yeah, they were submitted through the administrative office, through the clerk office. They are compiling all of the committees, and then I think they're presented to council as a whole for all the committees. So, or it may be, that's a good question, and I can find out how that's going to be presented to council. But I know I'm not.
Okay.
So just that they're in that part of the pipeline that they're getting prepared to be presented to council. That's a question.
All right, thank you. Next, we'll have a report by Rachel McKinley on staff recommendations for the sustainability plan, the communication plan.
So you all saw the recommendations that we sent out, with that plan. I think the review of it was going back to the handbook. Essentially, a lot of those pieces can be brought forward, but it has to go through the process through the city administrator's office. So that's why I just referenced the handbook. So a lot of the pieces of that communication plan, like the website and things like that, would be through the city website. And it's really important to remember that we're working as three separate bodies, and then we have to move through that process, essentially. So I just didn't also know if anyone had any questions about that review, or if you had a chance to look at it.
Well, what we have is the handbook, and then we have the comp plan. And as we enact the comp plan, then we need to refer to how to do all those portions that will help guide us in the handbook.
Right, like, so one of the ideas, right, is, they were going through that comp plan from a staff perspective and then comparing that to the handbook. A lot of the pieces, like doing a social media post about sustainability. Well, how would you do that? You, as a committee, would come up with the messaging. It would go to staff for review through the clerk's office. All of that media is reviewed through the clerk's office and the mayor's office. And then when that kind of all gets approved, then that's how you would then take that next step. So there's essentially, I see where your comp plan was going, but it didn't align with the handbook of how that process worked. But it was a good exercise in understanding the different methods of how we can do communication with the public as a committee, and then how do we do that as a committee of the city of Sandpoint? To be very mindful of how we approach that. Another component is we don't advocate as city. We inform of, education and factual information, but there was one element in that said, like, we would like to advocate for this. We don't advocate. So that's something really, important to know. That's not something. So yeah, if you guys want to, whatever the kind of the next steps are, how you all want to move forward with this comp plan. If you want to try to revise it, or it's kind of really balls in your court of how you want to take those next steps.
Well, we have adopted 4 goals for 2026, and one of them is not actually presenting a plan, a sustainability plan to the city, but we have that going in the background. And I just noticed in the last city council meeting that the mayor said that the city is reviewing its master plans. It does not have a master plan. And so I would imagine that that would be welcome. And I think that's something that we should see.
Would that be different than like a sustainability plan? Or is that like kind of the same thing?
That is it, yeah.
Okay.
It's like urban trees, airports, parks and rec, there are those, and they are viewing them to see what's needs to be updated. And so I think we should proceed. The feeling is we should proceed.
Because there isn't one already.
Yeah, so how it goes is you have your comp plan, and then from your comp plan, you have a strategic plan of how you're going to pursue that comp plan. And then that aligns with all your master plans for specific topics or links. So, I mean, if you see like this long list of all these plans we have, that's how you kind of pursue that. Would be that it all has to align with that comp plan. So there is a sustainability section in the comp plan. So I did refer, so I always, just from perspective, I always refer back to these plans because that's what we work off of, because they're adopted. This is our process. The planning process is when you're developing all these, surveys and everything and communication. So we kind of looked back at the comp plan, that's right. And then the handbook is like the policy. So we have plans, code, and policy. It's a framework.
So that will be something I think we should continue to pursue in 2026, but it's not exactly on it's not on the 4 goals that we have and that are up for approval. And next we'll have a report on the City of Sandpoint's energy efficiency improvements audit report, and I will be reporting on that. So Pam, did some research in the old sustainability committee's work. And they actually commissioned a study by Avista in 2018. That was an energy audit. And it is, has a number of recommendations. They went to several buildings and they did the energy audit that pertains to a vista, to that kind of energy, and made some recommendations. And these recommendations, that was 8 years ago. So they now have some they're going to need to be, we can't just adopt them. We're going to need to review them again. So they have example recommendations for the city should no longer use incandescent lighting. There are things that happened in the intervening 8 years, both in city practices in energy. So that would be something that we should consider picking up. It seems like I think it might be a way to get it done cost-free. And that seems like it could be really a good plan to do.
Like a starting point. Like a starting point.
Yeah, like a really good starting point to get some recommendations. And I think something that we could think about doing is if we can get some information from, or maybe even get an audit done by, I think it's March when when the budget process starts. It might be a way to get sustainability proposals into the budget to say maybe, probably some modest kinds of changes that could happen that would save money, that would be kind of thing that we could propose to do and get our agenda into the budget. But we would need to get these recommendations and get a cost for them and get it into the budget.
Just as an idea, what type of nations were there aside from the lighting? Just curious.
We should have a copy of it.
Oh, yeah, I was trying to get to it. I can't, for some reason I can't get.
There's a lot about lighting.
Well, that's just right.
There's hot water, lighting, hot water.
Yep, insulating hot water.
Insulation, thermal window. So doors, windows, HVAC systems,
Thermostat.
thermostats, stratification. There's a lot of different sections in here. Commercial and food.
Do we know how difficult it was to get them to do the first one?
I tried to get a hold of whoever that person is. I don't know if it's a he or a she, and I left the message because I don't even know if that person is still
Right.
But if it's stuff. Or I was gonna ask how it came around,
Right.
who paid for it, yada yada, but till she calls me or he calls me back.
You mean the study itself?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because there's a name on the front of it.
Well,
I'm wondering if someone would take the lead on that.
On calling them.
Yeah, on trying to just figure out what would be the next step
Yeah, I could do that.
to do.
Okay, I've already left a message for somebody to call me back.
I'll leave another message.
Yeah.
Hello, doubling down. Please answer your phone.
Like I said, the name, I don't even know that spelled it.
Right, and
so there were notes. I'm looking at our repository. And there was some notes on the energy audit status. And that was in new business from April 25th, 2018.
So-
Yes, that would be a really good thing to do, would be go back and get the context in the background from that. So this energy audit was done on July 12th, and we have notes from the meeting of April.
April 25th, 2018, and then there's another agenda in 2018 as well, and it stopped.
Sherman. Unique name. There is an email, I just. So,
Yeah, that's it.
That's
Yeah,
it.
that's-
No further information, that's it.
Okay, well, on this report, it talks about all the people who were there on all the walkthroughs. And I don't know, some of those people must have been, I would imagine, on the committee.
Look at it.
Sean Scoogan, Ken, Sean, and Rod.
Rod is staff and Sean is staff.
Okay, so I don't know if somebody from the committee was there for that.
Yeah, I did see, so looking back, Sean was in Public Works. He was my position a few years back during that time, and I know he was part of that, Sean Scrugan. And then Rod Forget is our utilities. So, yeah, we have some, I could ask him too.
Yes, and it would be, of course, also part of the background to find out what of this has been done.
was gonna say, it'd be interesting to see what the difference is between 8 years ago and now. Like, just to see like what they talk about
And
differently.
then the pandemic.
Yeah, I'm sure.
219.
Yeah, like the sewer plant is in this like a Vista thing.
Yeah,
that would be
and
interesting.
hopefully they do this
Yeah,
now.
See, this will all be something with dark skies thing. So what are the rest of that LED lighting is still.
Okay, great. So Michaela, you would bring that back next
I will
meeting
call and see.
and see if we
And
can
there is an email. Yes, too.
thanks for your try to get to what needs to be asked for. If we have some expenditures that would be cost saving type expenditures.
So you can do an ROI.
Yeah, return on investment.
Yeah. Great. Next item under old business is a report on the student pilot project communications. I'm going to report on that. We've had some really good progress.
That is email.
Oh, excellent. So we got a response. The Boise University of Idaho program has been unresponsive getting back to us. And so Pam reached out to, I don't know, 8 programs, regional programs.
7. This one, I talked to the OI.
And got replies back. And long story short, University of Montana is very interested.
yay.
Yes. And we did have with Pam, Rachel, and I on the 16th, we had a Zoom call with him. And having another Zoom call after this meeting on Friday to try to fine tune what would be the project. He has done this before. He has a program of trying to align the students with practical real world problem solving. So he has experience and wants to get something, has a couple of master students that he would like to get going on it. So we're hoping to work on it. And he described that one possible thing is that we could have a student do basically an inventory of expenditures on energy in the city.
It's like exactly what we wanted last time, right?
It's great.
Yeah, that's
And
really
it
great.
kinda- I mean, he said, oh, I love data. And he was pretty enthusiastic about doing something
Cool.
like that. And both Pam and Rachel felt like there would be data that would be already accessible. And there may be some more data that would need to be thought of and collected along the way once the student got started. So it seems like we could have a baseline for energy expenditures that might provide us for something that we would do with a Vista to see if those energy expenditures could be reduced over the next time frame. So these two projects could really merge together and give us some good data.
However, he's going on sabbatical.
Yes, so there's a little,
Okay.
he
Of
has
course he is.
sabbatical in the fall, so we could complete this project with this master's student, maybe over the summer. He wasn't thrilled about working over the summer, so we kind of have to work all that out. But it would at least give us a start with the university, and it would be a pilot project. We'd learn something from it, both in a deliverable that we can use in the city and also how to work it. We would need after, well, let's just, well, so that's the report. Are there any questions on anything about that?
How soon can they start?
We'll find out on Friday.
Okay.
It's probably new business.
Yeah, I was gonna say, in number 6 on new business, we can have a discussion on the student pilot project. It's Dr. Robin Saha is his name, at the University of Montana. And what we hope to, have possibly at or soon after Friday, in a Zoom call, we would have, objectives, deliverables, a time frame, roles, and then from the city, we have an MOU. So we have to arrange that kind of legality with the city and then get started.
I think that's what Friday would really be, is
Right.
outlining the scope of the MOU to say.
What does that mean?
Memorandum of understanding. So it's an agreement saying you're gonna, the city, we would like this from the
Yeah.
students.
Like a
We-
contract.
A contract, thank
Yeah.
you, yeah. And what it really is that we are not obligating any fund, like, there's
Sure.
no
Mhm.
cost. We're gonna do it about in this time frame. So, scope, budget,
Mhm.
time frame, and that's what the outline would be. And then they said the question is, what do you want the scope to be?
He really didn't student.
He had someone but she couldn't come to the meeting.
So
With
we
him.
don't, we're not, I'm just saying,
That's it. Yeah, that's still.
we haven't connected with her. And I also, if I can add, or do you want me to wait to the roundtable, the responses I got today? And I sent you a copy.
It did, yes.
Okay.
Actually, that might fit in like the old business of like what's coming down the line with your 8 that you put out. Because you received an update.
Well, she's now on to new business.
Oh, okay. We'll do
Just
it.
Right?
Roundtable, okay.
Or do you want me to wait till I'm out too? Because we have 2 more options, just today,
Oh,
Well, we could,
part of this discussion.
just to share.
Yeah, it would be right now.
It is in this topic.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
yeah, I nudged everybody today because some people never responded and they're just busy. So, WSU said, I would like to meet with you to discuss what you are looking for and the timeline. I do have a class I teach in the fall. Might be appropriate for this work. It's a 4th-year environmental assessment course that includes graduate students. So if we did something spring with this one, there might be an option again in the fall. And I sent to you and Rachel to see about a time to Zoom with her, and then it's all of a sudden they just came in today. I'm like, oh, sorry. Just
Perfect
'cause I
timing.
gave them a little nudge. Brian Henning from Gonzaga. So said, let me huddle with somebody. One of us will get back to you. You don't hear from us by the 6th, please loop back. He had asked if there was money. I said, but there could perhaps be room and board for somebody if they wanted to come up here. So I guess that was it too. So we are scheduled, if you guys can meet with the Boise State on the 5th at 3:30 to do a Zoom call. I can Zoom. I think I sent that to you too, Rachel.
Yep, I'm sorry, I haven't looked at my.
That's okay.
Haven't looked.
Okay, so
But I will follow
there
up.
are other-
Look at that.
There's other works.
What was the first school you mentioned? I'm sorry, I did.
WSU.
Okay, thank you.
That's really exciting
I
to
know it is.
get some,
All of a
get some
sudden,
plugs, yeah,
I know, to just get out there contacts,
yeah.
even for another time. So it was WSU. and
Gonzaga.
Last one was BSU.
And two, this gives us options if we want to do like more in the future, we have like some touch points.
Right, and if this doesn't work out with Saha. So just the fact that there is interest out there. It just all takes meeting.
It's time. I hope the University of Montana will work to some degree and will learn from them. Pilot project and we can learn.
And we can like start and just like see like what we're missing, what we have, like what that would look like.
Yeah, but it's
Yeah, and then
Yeah.
maybe we could take it bigger too, like. Once we can get the city stuff. We would like take it to more of the city, not just like government.
Yeah.
eventually.
Right. That would
Yeah.
be cool.
Yeah.
I think that'll be kind of in the scope of like a master plan.
Yeah.
Is for the operation of the city. But having a study on their area, like public or private, yeah, you kind of have to think about that because our policy and code and like how our buildings and everything are built. It's how it would be a part of that governance as the city. But our master plans typically focus on like what we do. So when we're saying we're doing a sustainability plan for the city, that makes sense, focusing on our own operations. But as the committee is part of your role, reviewing code and policy. Yeah, outside of the city, is where that would fit in. That makes sense.
Yeah, and it kind of goes hand in hand with having those codes and those processes be looked at for sustainability. So I would like us to have a motion on moving ahead with the University of Montana. And it would be on the order of having the 3 current participants in talking with Dr. Saha to proceed to move forward on the pilot and eventually have the timeline goals or the particulars.
I can make a motion to move forward with Dr. Zaha and the 3 potential grad students to further communication and the pilot project.
Second,
All in favor?
They,
Opposed? Great. Item 7, next we'll have a report on leading cities Gov program focus on resilience, and I'm gonna talk about that. The leading cities is an organization that reached out to Mayor Grimm on December 9th to invite Sandpoint to consider looking at their programs on resilience, free of charge. And in the meantime, I don't know that the city has, but well, I think Mayor Grimm responded and said, we are interested.
Yes, so he, I guess it's a program and he applied or put a letter of interest. So that was the question you had. And so I saw that reboot. The next one. Yeah, so he did essentially put forward Sandpoint as a potential city to participate in that program. Now, I have not heard anything back yet. I don't know if you have or not.
If you look on leading cities website, they have a number of possibilities. So Gov is one of them. And there is another one that sounds like it would be appropriate. She actually mentions it in
I think, aren't they all on that?
her email. She talked about a second one. Yes. Didn't write it down, but oh yes, it is. It's called Sustain Account. So it seems to me like there are 2 possible points of contact there to see what we could do with them, again, free of charge. And Rachel, protocol wise, can we reach out to her and ask for more information? She invites us to do this.
Yeah, well, I don't know. Let me,
Says
I think-
learn more and
yeah, but since I would say the mayor contacted them. Maybe I would recommend reaching out to the mayor to see if he's heard anything
Right.
back and then say, can I be that next point of contact? And I
All
think
of
that
that
would where
is
you get guidance.
that's on the first page of the agenda, all their names.
Say that again?
This is the first page of the agenda. It's sent and it's on there.
Sustain Account
Right.
is part of the Gov?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, it's a
So
subpart.
it's on, so in the agenda, the packet, your link, if you click on that link, it's all,
Okay, on their website.
yeah. The link that you provided
Okay,
in the agenda.
And I'm sorry, hopefully that wasn't too confusing. Mandy and I talked about putting the links instead of just pieces of the web page, so you could reference it as well. And get kind of a bigger exploratory path versus just a few documents and. So that's why we have that, start putting a links page, so you can go directly.
yeah, I like the links.
and the Gov actually has an application deadline of I think it's March 14th, right? So we would need to get in there with an formal
But that's what,
application.
I think that's what he did.
That's what he did.
He applied.
Oh, he already applied.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay, well, we better find out what's going on.
Yeah, so that's the next step is, he applied, I think December, when he sent that email, he said, I just went ahead and applied
Right.
to,
It's really simple form.
yeah.
It's
It
a
was
super simple
yeah.
form. But it looks like from what I read here, we have to create a project.
Which you guys have.
Yeah.
3 or 4 months.
We just happen to have projects.
Yeah. We can do,
This is cool. This also would be a lot of data too. It looks like some of the stuff that they can provide us. Like a climate risk assessment would go hand in hand with like resilience and also like a sustainability plan for the city. Because we could be like, okay, how do we reduce this? And how do we like adapt to the things that are already happening? Like that would be like a cool amount of data.
yes. I think if I remember right,
Exactly.
they will do, I think, individual building, you can specify which areas, individual buildings.
One neighborhood.
That's cool.
Well, we're not much bigger than,
Uh-uh. 1 square mile
Yeah.
covers a lot of.
that covers a lot of Sandpoint.
Yeah.
So
Cool.
would someone want to take the lead on this?
And do what exactly?
Would communicate with Rachel on what the city has already done, get the authority to go to this organization, Leading Cities, and try to bring back to us in February what would next steps be?
I'll do that.
Great. Super.
Thanks.
This is a cool program.
Yeah.
It is.
There you go.
Yeah, they do have a lot. I like that they reached
They
out to
do,
us.
they started out at Northeastern University.
Mhm.
And they have, as you can see, a number of cities that they've worked with, and it just seems like it's really, we're lucky that we can possibly be able to do this. Any more on that topic, on leading cities?
Looks like they have last year's just
Yeah, and they have a sample 1-page project.
yeah, they had like 2020, 2021.
Yeah. Mhm.
I lost that page.
Well, anybody who wants to noodle around on
Yeah.
leading
Mhm.
cities, there'll be a lot to, I think there'll be a lot to investigate
Yeah.
there.
Cool.
And then item number 8, we're having a report on Project 7B and Sandpoint Forward Resilience Plan, and Michaela's going to tell us a little about what that is.
Yes, so Sandpoint Forward is a grant that was done by Model Forest Policy Program and from the Climate Smart Communities Initiative that Pam and I got to collaborate with a lot last year, and Gwen was our like leader in that. And the plan is finished, which is exciting. And Model Forest Policy Program is planning to apply for another grant to move into the implementation of the plan. And Gwen is asking me to talk to you as the committee about how the committee might want to be involved in that implementation, and what that would look like. So the plan is leading with, it talks about resilience for wildfire, for floods, for extreme winter storms, for smoke and air quality. And the lake is the last big one that it was focused on. And I don't have a copy of the finished plan yet. Gwen hasn't like sent that. Pam, you do? Oh my gosh.
Katie sent me one.
Will you send it to me?
Yeah, I will.
Yay.
It's not finished for public.
Yes,
because
that's what she
they're
told me
trying to
too.
Get it edited.
Yes,
She said they were looking for a grant to edit it.
to edit it.
So, and she said I sent you a copy because I say, can I send it to the
Yeah.
chair of the sustain, because it goes.
They sent it to me. Yeah. So the implementation phase is the next part. And so how would we, if at all, want to be involved in that is kind of what they're looking for. So we're kind of like, if I feel like we're like going in tandem with Sandpoint Forward. Like we're like moving in parallel together, which is exciting to have another organization work on this direction too. That's okay. So you can send it to me.
Yeah, it's really exciting. And Sandpoint Forward seems like the focus is on Sandpoint, but is it actually Bonner
It
County?
it was more county than just Sandpoint.
Yeah.
Sandpoint was our idea.
And what was the idea? And then it kind of like bled into parts of the county, but it's like, I would say it's very focused. The Sandpoint and then like a little bit extended, like it's not,
Community. It's more community. than-
yeah, it's like more community focused. So it's not like, it's not just the city or anything. Yeah, it does kind of like extend. a little.
So we got into wildfires.
Yeah,
science,
right. That like moved out of the city.
Water.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yes, it is.
it's just right on our, kind of right along our lines. And we've said that we were gonna focus on city operations. But also developing a plan for sustainability for Sandpoint. I'm not sure how to interface.
I was like curious, sorry, Rachel,
Oh,
but
no, no,
my,
please.
my thought is like, is it possible? And like, I don't know, like, could we as a committee say like, yes, we support this plan and we would like the city of Sandpoint to like formally adopt that? Is that like possible?
So the process is that you all would vote to recommend that the city of Sandpoint, we could reference it or utilize it. We can adopt it in some facet, again, through the process, through administration. And really, and again, keeping the scope that we focus on city of Sandpoint operation and governance. So the next question would be, we have this kind of area plan, like, for example, we have a urban transportation plan for the region. We adopt it in the essence that we're a part of it, but we have our own specific multimodal plan. So they coincide ultimately. And so then as city staff or like a member of the committee would be a part of that, and then you would bring it back to the city, and then we would see how it would apply within the city. And then, so that's kind of like the interface, I would say. Now it can be done probably through the committee as like committee work, like since you already are on that, you're representing that plan. And then it would just be like, how does that kind of like become a part of our operations and work for staff? Again, guided by, reviewed against policy code, and then the initiatives and strategic plan of the council. And so council would give that direction to say, yes, use this broader plan, staff participate, committee, we recommend that you participate. So it would just be identifying the how, but they would interweave ultimately. It would just be that would be that process.
Right. Yeah, so maybe not a formal adoption, but a reference.
Right,
or-
we are, I
Right.
should say, staff don't adopt,
Right,
committee doesn't adopt. Council.
right, exactly.
Exactly,
So
so
we
that,
could-
we would recommend that.
We can recommend that.
Yeah, I mean, at the very least, I think we don't want to reduplicate efforts.
No, and it's pretty thorough.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's it's nice to kind of have like a leg up. And when we like talk about sustainability, we have like adaptation and mitigation are like our two buckets. And so resilience is an adaptation, which is like, okay, this is happening. This is a product of climate change. How do we adapt our city to this? Whereas mitigation is how do we stop putting greenhouse gas into the atmosphere? So we have like two buckets of that. And so the plan that Sandpoint Forward is the adaptation resilience bucket. So if we choose to be like, yes, we want to like partner with that, we kind of have that bucket already done. That's like great, like that's like part of it. Check, done. That bucket is complete. And then we could focus on the mitigation bucket of lessening maybe, that's where like the energy audit would come in, that's why like this work with this grad student would come in, like, that's the bucket that would fill that. So we kind of wouldn't have to worry about the adaptation bucket if we say, yes, resilience plan, we wanna partner with you, so to speak.
Yeah, or you said.
Yeah, exactly, like
Yeah.
council, please
Adopt it.
adopt it,
recommend.
take it, do something with
Yeah.
it, yeah.
Yeah, and they would maybe, like, your recommendation is that we would take this and it would be a piece of that master plan
Yeah.
framework.
Right.
And then there you go,
Yeah.
and they can say, yeah, you're in it. It's fine.
And we did change the language.
Yeah, it is, it's like, it's like resilience, it's like it's written,
Because that was too fuzzy.
it's written with an appreciation for where we are, and the language reflects that. It is a very careful document to not immediately kick people off of what we have to say. And like, it's like, we have like a hydrologist that looked into it, like we have like a lot of wildfires, people that looked into it, like it was like a pretty verified process. I mean, we did it for what, Pam, a year and a half? Yeah. A long time, so it's,
Like some of the people like Reed Weber, who's.
Yeah, like an architect, yeah.
Architect.
and we had like community members like fill out surveys and like ask us what they think, and we like presented it to like community spaces, and we like got like some community member like buy-in too, so it's not just like us that worked on it. It was a very, Schweitzer participated and other community members participated too, so.
Can I ask a question? How, and like envisioning this, because you could do it, part of one of your goals too is staff training, right?
Mm,
Is this a
right.
document that you would recommend, one, for us to recommend the city to adopt and utilize? But then would you recommend like, hey, staff, can you read this plan and comment? How would this be implemented in your work or in your projects? Because if you're asking about implementation, how would this committee be a part of that implementation? Is that you would provide recommendations of what could be done, what projects could be done?
Yeah,
Right, and you would need staff to review that to say, oh yeah, this would fit in like urban forestry, this would fit into the urban forestry plan, we'll pull that, so
yeah,
that would be kind of the first step, is that when it is published, or if they're asking for public comment, that would be the time to kind of interconnect and start seeing how that could be.
yeah, and that could definitely fulfill some of that too, which would be cool. Yeah. So I guess I could like respond back to Gwen and say that we are interested in like taking it to council when it's ready. Like we want to say, yes, we want to work parallel with this document so that we don't reinvent the wheel. We don't like redo work. See, they're applying for implementation in March, so we'll know a little bit more then, but she just wants to see how we would like to be involved.
I like the idea of adaptation already possibly being addressed, and then mitigation would be something that we're already
Right,
talking about doing.
right. Well, and to like adaptation is like theoretically easier because it's like, okay, we can kind of like already like do some of this, whereas mitigation is harder because it's like you have to like essentially stop and rethink about the way that you use energy and like waste. So that could be something like the city could do slightly more quickly as adaptation, just because it's like this is like already there. Like we can like be like, okay, how do we like adapt to this? It's just a little, that for some people might feel good too, because it's like, oh, we're doing something. you
Yes,
know? Yeah, because
Is there a public comment period on this plan, or is it just a specific?
to protect, to bring back more once it's been published,
Yeah.
or at least like maybe take it.
Yeah, we were on the time crunch because of the grant.
Oh, I understand that.
It wasn't easy.
Yeah, we definitely,
So the leader, she was in South
was in
Carolina.
Tennessee,
North
yeah.
Tennessee. This is.
yeah, we were like right up against the edge. But yeah, that would be a good thing to bring back to maybe ask her too, is like, hey, before it's like
Right.
implemented, like the committee would like to maybe make a public comment or like bring up a public comment
Yeah.
to see it.
Because I think as a committee, right, that's what you
Right.
can
Right.
do, is say, oh yeah, this is.
Maybe take, it's, like I said, it's 81 pages, so it's, it'd be hard for one person.
Yeah, we could like
If
take
we
chunks.
summarized it into
Yeah.
chapters.
It's really cool. I'm pretty stoked about it, and it looks really good. Yeah.
I'm grateful. It's really great that that's going forward.
And then you like look at it, like, you're like, oh, dang. Like, that's like legit. Like, that's like not some Google Doc.
Right.
That's like a designer program. It's like, feels cool to have it be there. But yeah, I can say that, I can tell her that we would like to be.
And the timing is really good after the wildfires last summer.
Yeah, and that's that fire is in
Yeah,
this too. So yeah, it's like really, it's like,
it raised that fire so close to town, really
Yeah.
raised people's awareness that, oh,
mhm.
maybe we have a problem.
And it talks too about like the economic costs is like, that's like mentioned in like all of like the hazards as well. So it's like, that's like a focus too. So like, we could almost even like tandem this like with like, look, it'll save us money, and Avista, you're bringing us all of these things to like save us money. Like we can like really hit that like economic button.
Yep.
I noticed, I think it was in McCall's sustainability plan where they talked about business as usual. So if we continue doing what we're doing,
Right,
this is the cost.
right. Yeah,
We're
And-
more vulnerable than we think we are.
What was that?
I guess,
We're more vulnerable than we think we are.
That would,
You know, I'm sure the people in Santa Rosa, California didn't think a wildfire just blow up their town,
Well,
you
yeah,
know,
Paradise and Lahaina,
right?
we have some examples.
so for the committee for an action, would that need to be an action item for next meeting? Is that you're still doing, just to move forward is like is that correct? Sorry.
I was ending on the committee will revisit recommending the plan when the plan is published for the public. Is that where we
I
ended?
could
Unless
even-
there comes public comment.
I could even email her that we would like to partner, so to speak, however that like language, like we're talking about like bringing it forward. Like we as the sustainability committee would like to look at it and then bring it to the council. Like I could tell her that, and then she could probably give us that information prior to March, the implementation. So I could even maybe have that for next meeting.
Cause then you could make a motion next meeting to move
Yeah,
that forward.
Move that forward. Yeah.
Okay, just to
Yeah.
keep it going.
And she might feel more comfortable giving like us like access to see it if we're like talking about like we would like to move forward with like using this document as a sustainability committee. So I could have that for next meeting,
Yeah.
information about it.
Oh, that'd be great.
yeah, because they did say I could give it to Christine.
Are we good with item 8 on project 7B and Sandpoint forward resilience? Because item 9 is discussion on making a committee recommendation on coordination of these two resilience-oriented programs. So that would be the Leading Cities program and the 7B Centering It Forward.
Answer.
She has this agenda figured.
And I think when I was thinking about what the motion would be, it could be something like the committee moves forward in doing research on the two programs, how they complement each other, and recommendations for the next steps.
Do we know enough about leading cities to make a recommendation like that?
To say that we're gonna move forward on seeing how they complement each other.
Yeah,
Diana's gonna work on that one, right?
well,
And
I
then
know that, but do we know?
she can share what she.
I guess we could have that earlier on the agenda next time, what Diana would find, and then put this later on the
Yeah.
agenda.
I just don't know that we know enough, like, So we make this recommendation, but what does that mean to work on that when we don't know exactly
And
what
we
the
haven't
leading
done
cities
standards.
is?
So maybe you could table it until,
Oh, are you saying like, so this action item is actually related to these two programs? Because
Right.
they both have actions for the committee members to go out and do work. So is this action item saying we discussed it, go ahead and do that work?
We already did that, as far as I'm concerned.
We already did that.
We already did that. What I'm reading in this agenda item is we want to coordinate between the two programs. I don't know that we can do that yet.
Do we know when we'll get that email back from the mayor? Like whether, like, when he gets like more information, do we know when that'd be like a go?
because the deadline was March, wasn't it?
Yeah,
It's March 14th. It's in 7
Yeah.
weeks.
Yeah, right. So if you apply, you may not hear back. until-
Right.
right, so we like may not know like when we
Oh.
get that information back. It's so much bigger though to like research, yeah, follow up and just like see.
But I would just go through you, right?
Yeah, essentially it's just
Uh-huh.
an email,
Okay.
have you heard anything back? And then, if at this stage, what can the committee do to kind of keep it going? 'Cause that's really your question is,
And I'll really kind of delve
Dive
into it a
into it,
little bit
yeah.
more too, just to see if I see anything else that,
that you might really
because
be.
there's other programs there that we might want to apply to, right? That have.
They're directing us to the sustain account, which is climate change. That's what they're directing us to in that email that went to the mayor. Not the other ones, not the housing affordability, like there's 5 different areas.
Could use that.
Oh, we could use all of them.
Yeah. A priority list, right? Because if you could use all of them and each section kind of goes into a plan, you could identify which ones you'd like to really prioritize within the work that you all do. And then see what you get. Well,
Yeah, well, maybe part of it is asking them, what are the other ones? Cause it was clear that, and maybe that was from what, Mayor Grimm sent them, he went for the climate risk pilot. So they came back with sustain account.
Am I allowed to email Ava directly? Or do I have to go through you and through?
I would say, let's just ask the mayor and then he'll be like, yeah, or he'll say, let me connect you and then
Okay.
kind of work through that. But as a committee, you all would agree that that's where your role would be, right? Is that right? Well, yeah.
But anyway, right now, we only apply for the sustain account. From what I'm reading, and
So
they're
right now, all that I'm really doing is just following up.
moving that forward,
And
if,
moving
once
that.
it's approved by,
And if I want to, I can kind of look at the others and then
Yes.
maybe make a priority
Yes.
list, and then we can next meeting, we can,
see if
Move
we want to
forward.
go down, yeah.
okay.
And there might be some back and forth in between that, but you'll have more by the time, within a month.
Sounds like a cool program.
Yeah, it
Email.
really does. Well, I think, maybe we aren't ready to talk about how we would avoid reduplication and how these two programs would work together. So if you have a motion and as Deborah mentioned, maybe we aren't ready to,
Why don't we
Go
just
there.
make a motion that we move it forward to the next,
Table the
Meeting.
motion.
table it until the next meeting?
okay, we can do that.
All right, I make a motion that we table agenda item number 9 until the next meeting.
A second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Item 10. We'll have a discussion on our 2026 goal of a protocol for item F, which is evaluate proposed parks, public works, infrastructure and development projects and initiatives for their potential environmental impact and sustainability benefits providing recommendations for improvements or alternatives. So how do we get in the loop to start having input into these projects when there's a chance that we could have an influence? Rachel, have you had thoughts on that?
I do, no, I would just, anyone have any other questions or any thoughts or before I dive in? Okay, so I think, good example of that is we have our downtown phase 3. As staff, when we look at our projects, we say, okay, I need to take this to bike ped. I need to take this to urban forestry. And each committee has a specific thing that they and just kind of keeping in the scope that a big part of your power here is that you're going out to the community as well as, researching a lot of these components or aspects to say sustainability or concerns like public concern that you're bringing forward and reviewing these projects. So what we do is we look through that list. We say, yep, we need to bring it to all these committees with the understanding that bring it to their committee meeting, they have a discussion, they compare it to something, right? Like, and I guess Mandy, I'm gonna pull her in on this too, on some of these like planning and zoning, and that's more of a commission, but they have specific things that they review. So my question for this committee is that if I brought a infrastructure project to the committee, what would be the elements that you would review? And what would be the recommendations on that project? So say like, could be water saving, could be energy saving. So if you have your 5 topics of sustainability that you would want to focus on, so like you have your overarching sustainability goal or definition, which I don't know if you all are aware of, we do have an adopted definition of sustainability. It's in our comp plan. So that would kind of be your definer, right, of what is sustainability. You could do resiliency as part of that. I have not found a definition for resiliency yet. That would be some of that, but those would be your 2 like definitions. And then how would you compare this project to that, right? So that's really the question I would have for you in this process is I bring you a plan or a project and I bring it to you in conceptual phase, right? Because we want to get the input in ahead of anything. Because once we get past conceptual and 30%, it's gone. Like it's fine tuning and it gets real expensive to go back from that. So what we really want to look at is conceptually, you're looking at it and saying, oh, did you consider solar here? Or did you consider certain kind of faucets for this? Like you can asking those questions. There are some systems that we could set up that as you worked through that process, you could ask those questions per project. And that might be a systematic way to look at a project, be able to do it within the committee meeting, and then say, okay, we would recommend this as the project.
I think energy use is a big one to focus on. Because I feel like that's like a major, like, the sustainability is hard because it's like so many things. But I think in terms of like the city, I think energy use is one that would have a large impact and is something that is like measurable and also like pretty tangible. Like we can like that's like not a very abstract concept. And so I think that's something to focus on.
And I guess that is my question. I think someone listed them, now I don't remember who, they were like, the 5 pieces of sustainability for the city is energy, water, waste.
Yeah, transportation is probably up there.
Yeah, said the 5 things that Jeremy put forth.
Is that maybe might be the 5?
That'd be what is.
Yeah.
It was more than 5, but he did. These are
Okay.
at the bottom.
Oh, okay, yeah. So these items of these contents, as a committee, you would decide which ones to focus on, right? And say, okay, yeah, when we're doing transportation, okay, we need to bring a transportation, like a sidewalk project. So that would also be on the, like, this, I guess, within like the staff or the department to say, okay, like, is this applicable to sustainability? Is this applicable to urban forestry? How would you all weigh in?
And that's just his list. I mean, you can,
Right,
you
yes.
guys can change it, add, subtract,
Mhm. Yep.
combine whatever you want. It's just his idea.
Yeah, and so that might, I would say that would be my recommendation, is taking whatever list you all would say, yep, this is what we want to review. And it would be these topics, and then that would also, it would tie into your plan outline of like sustainability. We look at energy use. Okay, so this is our plan, this is our baseline, we have adaptation, we have mitigation, and then as we're operating, the committee's able to review operations code policy in that topic, and that might be a really organized way to go about it. And probably a little bit more methodical.
It did seem we had Excel sheet or some topics.
Probably improve the head on the matrix and.
Somewhere along there, I thought there was a list and then we got this one.
So that might be a good first step, is first look at the matrix that you all came up with. See if there's anything you want to pull from this. And then carry forward. These are the,
So I think we did look at how this compared with matrix at one point. Yeah.
which we
Yeah.
did.
Last year.
Yeah.
That was,
It's probably with Wayne.
that was a lot of
That was, yeah, that was
stuff.
big.
It was,
Well,
yeah.
maybe we can all
Well, we-
revisit our portions and just come up with one or two, overall.
I think that should all be on there.
Yeah,
Oh.
but I mean,
I don't have to redo it.
Where's that matrix? Is that?
It's on the, it's in the repository.
Send it to.
My
I believe
computer's
it's in the
dead, so I
repository.
can't-
sometimes it's good to put something aside for a while and go back to it.
Yeah,
Get
some fresh eyes, yeah.
And I'd say kind of keep it high level.
Yeah.
Like,
Right,
yeah,
right, right.
definitely.
Yeah, right.
Cause I mean, you can, they said the type of projects, if for reference, if you look at our budget, you can see in our budget books what projects, capital improvement projects are coming through. Our big one, at least in Public Works, is gonna be the phase 3.
With the phase 3, are they ever gonna get together in a good group? Cause I was.
Because that's you.
Part of that, yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
Are they?
Yeah,
Oh,
oh,
they
the
are.
technical, yes, yes, yeah,
Okay,
so they're,
that's still.
Yeah.
they are in the conceptual phase.
Okay.
They are doing public outreach. They just adopted the communication plan of how they're gonna, is it adopted or was it approved? It was approved by council to say, yeah, you can move forward and do it this way, but definitely reach out to Eric Bush. He's the project manager.
Will we see that conceptual part of like phase 3 as the sustainability committee?
Well, that's
Yeah.
what I was.
He's
supposed to
right,
be-
right,
there's
right.
Yeah,
There's somebody from every
Right.
committee on the technical.
yes, so they might not
So they
bring
haven't
in,
started those yet, right?
reach out to Eric. I'm not
Okay.
sure what the
Eric.
schedule is. Yeah, because they have a consultant assisting with that. As part of the consultant work is organizing all of that. But yeah, and there may have been a strategy to say, just we have a technical advisory group for the downtown phase 3. But that means Diane will come and bring that to the committee, right? And then she'll carry it forward. So she would be your liaison through that. So there's concepts or things that you might want to consider, but yeah, so we're in that phase right now, or that stage right now.
Step.
Yeah,
All right.
step. So,
There we go.
so yeah, so that would be my question as a committee when you're looking at the downtown phase 3 reconstruction project, for example, is it's the same that they did Cedar and First Avenue. We're just extending it from Church to Lake. It's taking out the road, it's doing any of the utility errors. I think there's a water main that has to be repaired. They'll make sure all the other utilities and working with partners to update those utilities. They're gonna repave it with the new design and like a surface design with and there's stormwater design in that. And then sidewalk and new road. And then, they'll do, that next step will be the surface features, benches, bike racks, lighting at that point. With the goal that it would just match the downtown because we already have. Not too beyond, like we all have the same streetlights. We want to keep the same streetlights. Because that's better to maintain, replace, manage from a maintenance aspect.
Dark skies.
Those are dark skies rated. Yeah, they do follow dark skies code. But that is a good question to ask. Absolutely, which is, hey, do the street light meet dark skies? Do they have LED versus iridescent? So, and the answer is yes. But those are, that would be part, I figured that would be what the sustainability committee would be asking on. Those pieces. But there's other stuff that you could ask on too. But just, I kind of think of it like, when you're thinking about a construction project like that, your prime definition of sustainability is to be able to operate. Oh, I should pull the definition up. But so it's, being able to do the project now with funds while considering it for the future. It is very high level. So then whatever topics you choose, that would be how you would maybe weight it, I guess, or kind of come back to it. Baseline it.
So we don't have that structure in place right now.
No, you don't. So that's what y'all get to, I can help you walk through that of like how you want to structure that and how it would make sense. And making sure that the input and the public comments you all hear also get put into this, right? And so when we talk about like kind of that like really cool part about what the role of a committee is that you extend out more into the public than just one person or one staff can do, or I can do in one meeting, or what one council member can do, or a council can do as a body. So we're just extending that into our citizen into our community to see what's happening and what are their concerns. Now we do try to keep it in the minds of sustainability, but that's also where you can go out and say, oh, you've heard somebody have that conversation. They're concerned about this. There are methods for public comment to input, to ask questions. So it's that communication. That is one of our strategic plans, that responsive government. So when people do have questions, we're good, we're able to respond to those, or we're giving the information accurately to our citizens. Not following just Facebook posts, what's actually happening. We do have project transparency pages that we're building, which we do for all of our projects. We're just in the process of getting those up. So, so this is also part of it too, is that committee that you can inform, hey, you want to know more about this project? You want to know more about this? Here it is on the website. There's more questions you have about it. Oh, you can ask here, or you can ask directly through staff. So that's just one really powerful thing that y'all are here for.
And the model is informal conversations.
Yes.
So we are not representing the city having meetings. It's like,
Right, you're representing yourself as an individual. Now, when you represent yourself as like part of a body, then that's directed from the committee to say, yes, go talk to this person with this messaging, right? But if you're just having, and that's how we group everything, right? Like you could have a conversation with Pam outside of here. That's totally fine. And you could have another conversation with another citizen, but you're not necessarily representing what the committee or the government is doing, if that makes sense. So,
Said then bring that information back, but somebody has shared.
Exactly.
Just
Yeah. Yeah, because we'll all hear different
informally,
things.
Informal.
Well, to move ahead here on the agenda, because we're getting into the roundtable time. We put a motion here that would relate to developing a protocol for item F. And in my thinking, the motion would be, let's proceed on developing that system, as Rachel was talking about, within the committee, so that if we get a proposal, we're not at sea about what aspects of it, and take the whole committee meeting trying to figure out what to do about it. So I guess it would be something along the lines of, let's proceed with developing guidelines and a protocol for evaluating proposals that come to us.
So I agree with that, but why is this an action item? Are we voting on? I mean,
Well, just that it gets on the agenda and we just keep proceeding ahead on it.
okay,
Is that something that we would try to take up next meeting?
She wants one, like, kind of, everyone's kind of leading something, would that be also part of the motion? Identifying a lead?
Have a person who, well, one thing I thought of earlier is, what if we all come with 5 proposals for the guidelines, or for, and then we can work on
Like our top.
narrowing, yeah, right, and trying to figure out where we go from there.
I see this document, Rachel. Oh, it's a paper.
can that document be added to our repository? Thank you.
What do you want me to title that?
What is it?
Including?
Oh, I don't know if that,
We already have kind of. So,
Yeah, that's what I,
Finding it.
yeah, finding it, I feel like.
yeah, that's what I mean. That's why
Yeah.
repository is my go-to place. So the more we can have there, the more it helps me.
Yeah.
But where even is that?
Just in that search bar. The search sustainability repository is the best way I can find this.
Thanks, Mandy.
Oh, Mandy is.
And it's like
also-
the third and fourth one down. It's not.
She's also updating the website.
shall we do, so let's get on to our discussion reform. So shall we have, can someone make a motion about everyone comes with 5 proposals for evaluation protocol items?
I move to make a motion to have everyone on the committee come with 5 proposal items for next meeting.
Second,
Aye.
all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay. Let's get on to roundtable. Anybody have things to bring?
Mine is on phase 3. And Rachel went through.
You see the press release from the dark sky?
No, I did not.
You did not?
No.
Reader and.
Well, I just didn't Oh. grab the newspapers. Yeah, I didn't even know that we had dark sky
I
code.
know lots of people didn't. That's,
When did that be established?
oh, yeah, it was a while ago.
It hasn't been enforced.
Yeah.
And I was talking to Carrie Logan, and I guess it been changed a couple of times. It goes back to Mayor Miller, whenever he was a mayor.
Hmm.
Wow. And Carrie said they had done something to it and they came back. You can look, if you find the code, my computer's dead. it'll tell you.
Well, good going because you revived it.
Well, it's been there. Yeah, it just had a deadline of last December to be in enforcement.
Oh, there's
To
sunset.
be, yeah,
Oh.
to have it be enforced, I guess. Followed. I don't know the language of it, but. Yeah, so speaking of streetlights, I've already had people calling me about streetlights, and I think that's an Vista thing.
It depends, so, yeah, the Cobra head, I believe, are Vista, and then the bulb pedestrian lightings.
And so what, those bulb pedestrian, the big round ones, are those the ones all downtown, are those?
Those were, under my understanding, when they're engineered, were under the dark skies.
Huh.
But again, I can follow up.
Yeah, and I have to do a lot of research to find out
Yeah.
because it talks about lumens and.
Yeah.
We can get a thing to gauge it. I had one. Had one thing. About it. Said, this isn't a city, this isn't a big city. Says, why don't you move out of town if you don't like lights?
boy.
Didn't respond. Then he said, you're gonna come out, check. Whatever. Like Big Brother. Like. Nope. Not even answering you.
Well, I guess this would be my question. I was like, like communicating with the public and everything. What are I guess, the benefits of dark skies? That would be the question. You
Yeah.
know, not just seeing dark
that's
sky,
right, and
but
that's
like it could be
The
like,
education point.
yeah, like, is it a help? Is it an energy saving?
Migratory birds.
It's that,
birds,
it's
yeah, light
nighttime
pollution.
pollinators, it's our nocturnal animals. Yeah, it's
When I
a
lived in
lot.
Flagstaff, they were a dark sky city and it was like really.
Yes, those Ketchum and Stanley, it's amazing.
Yeah.
And so that's the piece that's next is the education. And Zach did that nice article in Reader, and I was gonna write a little. Here, just pointing out the 5 easy things you do with lights and why. What's the purpose? But the point is, you never get that. Rights, everybody's rights, don't tread on me. No. It's like,
Oh, yeah.
don't make me do.
Yeah, I guess my
Okay.
next question would be how, because we always kind of focus on the animal side, and I always like to look at all of them. When we talk about like that overarching sustainability, like how is it good for my kids? How is it good for me? How is it good for this community? How is it good for my pocketbook? And then how is it good for my environment? Those are always kind of nice things to kind of to bring up the, pros and cons, but
There's 1, 2,
you know, like,
3, 4,
there's
5,
still
right here.
a question I would assume of safety. Right, but are with these types of lights, but are my kids still safe? Just kind of thinking about that in the like larger picture. So like, if I need bright lights to attract people to my business, how is this gonna impact my business?
And closes at Sandpoint at 6 o'clock anyway, so. I gotta worry about that question. Well, they know how to get to the diner, you don't need lights there. They want them off anyway.
It's the one they gave you last.
Yeah.
I think they gave everybody. It talks about. Things. It does for Sandpoint, do it. It's just. Work.
So yeah, I guess that was kind of the last thing. The big thing I wanted to have for roundtable was the definition, that there was a definition. And that's
Sustainability. We did change one word. You weren't here yet. Remember the very first couple meetings?
Yes, we did, and I went back and looked for that, and I recall that it was in the built and unbuilt environment.
Something like that.
So that might be like a recommendation of like, this is what we would revise that definition to, and then my recommendation is if you have a like sustainability and resiliency definition, that would be great. So if you came up with both of those terms and recommended that to council. I think that would be a big guidance, or using it from the 7B
That's a-
plan.
So I'm gonna say,
Yeah.
I think we
Mhm.
defined resilience.
Mhm.
And I think that we never, I thought I read the new sustainability. It would have been, I don't even know if you were here. Here. So, it would have been,
Yeah.
it was missing.
It was around that
February
February.
when we first started. It was
Yeah,
like the
we-
first things we discussed.
Yeah,
So it would be in the minutes somewhere.
yeah, I've
And
looked
it was
at,
only like a word or two that
Yeah.
people discussed changing.
So that might be as like moving forward on the sustainability plan is having your two definitions. Like,
And get them put on the comp plan.
it's, yeah, pulled from the comp, and so you would want to recommend that to council to say, yep, adopt these two definitions. What updated ones y'all recommend, and then you would recommend the one from the 7B.
And
then
I'm
you would have-
wondering if we would do that the same time as the goals talked about, because I know the forestry just defined heritage/legacy tree, and that has been confirmed in the plan yet. So
Yep, they're gonna get that, I believe they're gonna get that recommendation, so that's what the forestry, I went to that forestry meeting and they had a really cool system, or they worked through a system that said, okay, we have a heritage tree, we have a definition for it, but now how do we, I guess, evaluate, which is what you guys are looking at in this, what's the evaluation, to say, yep, that is a heritage tree, so
it satisfies
it
this.
satisfies this, and now you do X. And
And I
so
have that.
that's might be a method you want to look into for sustainability. Might be a little bit different, so, but that's kind of what I would model. I was modeling it off that, but that might not be applicable for this committee. I'll get to kind of figure that out and I'll help you.
yeah, thank you.
A good time to do it at the same time that the goals are discussed or approved or.
We're gonna meet there. Right, our next meeting is the,
And I don't know
24.
when they were bringing that to the council
Think mid-February.
in February.
You could do it the next one. Yeah, you can always add to the agenda.
I know we have that written somewhere,
Yeah.
and we've got resilience.
Mm.
Maybe you could put out an
Mhm.
email to everybody, see if they liked that.
Definition that we kind of developed.
For the Sandpoint forward.
yeah,
I know it's written.
yeah, we did do it.
So did it, yeah. It's in there, somewhere in there.
Right.
We had minutes.
We are at 4:00.
Yeah, but I was here at 1:30.
It's dark. And I'm in the office and all of a sudden Mandy says, Pam, it's at 2:30. To get here, so it's been an hour.
No, I hate when that happens.
Sorry.
All right, we're gonna adjourn with no further business on the agenda. This meeting is now adjourned at 4:00.
Right. Good job.